All right, my fellow agents, welcome back. It is I, X7, your host of Zenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters, and your sultan of serials. Well, at least one. We're going to try this as an experiment. Was just wondering what to do for our next live action uh, Thursday review. So let's watch a serial from 1939, Zorro's Fighting Legion. Very exciting. It's quite good. Yeah, I say 1939. It was released December 16th. But before we get too much further into it, please like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment. Let me know if you like this. I think there were five Zorro serials altogether. Five, if you count Zorro's Black Whip, which is quite enjoyable in and of itself, even though Zorro is not in it. So, having said all that, are you ready? Let's ride. Oops. With the wind over hill over dale, with the spirit that turns a flame, and the sorrow of me. We ride with the wind as we go side by side, with the storm raging far and wide, and the sorrow of me. We ride. Yes, that song plays a lot, not just over the credits, but various times during episodes. It's not the worst one, so you're not going to forget. Zorro's Fighting Legion was the, let's see, second in a series of five Zorro serials, and plus a couple others, the hangers on that they use stock footage from. But this is the one that is the only serial that features Zorro, Don Diego de la Vega, or Don Diego Vega as he was known at the time, as Zorro. Everyone else was a descendant of Zorro. So it's one of the reasons I like it. It's quite good and it's action packed. It's a Republic Fit picture, and I believe the serial itself is in public domain. There were tons of them out in the early O's, late '90s probably. Reed Hadley is the star, and everybody else. We'll just see their pictures. There's Reed Hadley, and he plays. Of course, Diego's a fop, but this time he's in Mexico. But there's Sheila Darcy as Volita as opposed to Lolita. Good grief. Apparently Zorro's still single in this one. William Corson as Ramon. Leandro de Cordova. He's Governor Felipe. Evil. Edmund Cobb is Manuel Gonzalez. John Merton, not looking as Commandante Manuel. See, Montague Shaw is Chief Justice Pablo. Yeah, almost gave something away there. Thanks. And then our chapter one is the Golden God, which of course is the villain, and it gives us a little brief bio of Mexico, and then 14 years later. Now, the first Zorro was like in 1822, set up in the La Reina de Los Angeles, the queen of the angels of Los Angeles, of the city of Los Angeles. And so we get real Benito Juarez, who was the president of Mexico. Viva el presidente, to quote Vivian Bastard. So here's our quartet of miscreants. Golden Arrow. Don Del Oro is the leader. He's got the Yaqui tribe of natives riled up. They're a real tribe still in existence. Now he's promised them their land back, which of course is going to appeal to a certain amount of people, and I don't blame him for that. But Don Del Oro is evil, so he's just using the natives. They do call them Indians the whole time, but I'm not gonna. The Cantino del Camino, Cantino of the Road. Go figure. So here we go. We've got the villains there. A fight breaks out, a sword fight. Now, the sword fight is a lot of them just swinging swords at each other. I would assume some of them had some practice at swordplay, so they didn't kill each other, the stuntmen. I don't know who Reed Hadley's stuntman was. Dale Van Sickle, he doubled Reed Hadley and Yakuma Canet, James Fawcett, Ted Mapes, and Ken Terrell, at least were the five people that you see here. So, unfortunately, Diego's uncle gets stabbed. Zorro shows up because his uncle was the one who, um, I think that's Benito Juarez. His uncle was the one who had made the army or the legion to combat these raiders and stop the Yaqui from getting the gold to El Presidente. There's a good shot of him. He doesn't wear the bandana mask. He's got a what they call a masquerade mask, which is kind of pretty cool. You can breathe a little bit better, and you can speak a lot better. I would assume you're not muffled. But Ramon there finds out that knows he's Diego, and they're taking over. So there's Don Del Oro, and there's some of his miscreants. This is an infiltrator to the Zorro's Legion. Apparently, they all wear masks, so they don't know who each other are. Now we get the standard. Diego's a fop, and he plays it really well. Reed does a good job. I mean, you're comparing him to Douglas Fairbanks is not a good comparison because who was Douglas Fairbanks? His son wasn't even Douglas Fairbanks, so we tried. And now we get there he is. There's the Fighting Legion. They usually have Z's on them somewhere. They make it. He says, gives them the Zorro oath, and off they go. Now, this first two episodes, I pulled off of these screenshots off my Roan Group DVD, and then the second two I pulled off from the Internet Archive. I'm going to go back to the DVD, even though it's the picture's not a great quality, especially in the night scenes. It's I don't remember when the DVD was released, but so many, there were a lot. Alpha Video and you name it, somebody had it on there. But he's a dashing Zorro. He's a good actor. The bad guys are good. I mean, it's good. See, they've got their Z's on them. And off they go. I just love the picturesque, the old Los Angeles County, which doesn't it probably, well, this probably does. That might be Vasquez Rocks. Stabby. Lots of stabbing. I mean, they weren't shy about it. Lots of gunshots. And there was a nice gag of the horse leaping over the ravine. I don't know if that's a real horse or a miniature, but it looks good. See, I wish we had a better print. Now, the Serial Squadron has a restored print, but they've colorized it. And my feelings of colorization. If they've tinted it, that would be all right. I just don't like it. But they do such great work. I'm willing to give it a shot. So, and now so they always end with next chapter, the Flaming Z. I've excluded all of those pictures because what's the point? And the Flaming Z, of course, is how Zorro alerts people. Unfortunately, anyone can use it to try to trick them, can't they? There's Comandante Manuel. They're in the Mexican San Mendolito. So Diego's come down from Los Angeles, which, of course, doesn't belong to the States yet. It's 1824 and all. So there he goes. Fights, more fights, swinging, great stunts. It's a Republic serial after all. And Diego talks to El Presidente, and he pretends to be a fop, which tricks everyone. Did they not hear? I mean, in the movie, he gave up his secret identity right away, which they realized, and in the first book, they realized was a mistake because, everyone knew who he was. And so they're just going around rounding people up. Off they go to rescue him. I like this shot here. They drop bees. Poor bees. So Don Del Oro. he's supposed to be a god, but of course, I mean they doesn't I mean just take it for what it is for 1939. Um, Diego's still playing the fop. He sees this burning Z. They don't realize it's a trap. Now the dark pictures, they shoot. There's a lot of shots in the dark which could be brightened up. I mean, for DVD presentation, this is was good as it got back then, and now you really have to work and to get the product to look better. Somebody's been shot. Zorro's not riding Tornado. He's got a white horse, maybe Typhoon. I don't know. Silver, possibly, but it helps him stand out. I mean, it really does. So, yeah, he's going to get blown up, falls down. He saves one of his buddies. They blow it up. Now we've got Descending Doom. So now we go into the Internet Archive ones, which are okay. That's Moreno, and they don't even bother with accents, which is smart because nobody would have cared back then, and it would have been inconsistent at best. Um, they're trapped in the mission by the Yaki, and Zorro. The mission's been mined, so it's gonna explode. Yeah, see, you could tell that these shots at night, or they shoot, day for night. They're just murky, and that's the print more than it probably looked great in 1939. Yeah, you can't even see what's going on here, but he's going to swing out the glass window. He saves this guy. The villains are wanting. They had to have heard that there was not an explosion. So there's a message that they get. Oh, Juan has found out that there's a secret panel where all the golden arrows are made. The golden arrow, I believe, was a superhero, an archer in the first issue of Sensation Comics that also starred Wonder Woman. Guess who we remember the most? But they're looking for a spy, and Diego and Ramon show up. The guy runs away, and Diego causes a distraction. Oh, I'm so sorry. And then a sword fight breaks out. And they're like, they capture one of the bad guys. So they take him back to the fort. And of course, these guys are glaring daggers at him. Kill, kill. He's like, I don't know. And Diego offers him a pile of gold to get off the continent and live. And he says, I'll do it, but gets shot in the back. Twang! By the golden arrow of Don Del Oro. He's a grumpy looking cuss, isn't he? I mean, he's one step away from being one of the robots from Flash Gordon. There's the Flaming Z again. And off they go. So it's not a bad print. It's just really, I think the DVD will be better overall. So we'll do that. And more fights. Zorro ends down the shaft, and they've blocked him out. He thinks he can get away, but the mining cart is coming down to crush him. Of course, the next episode's a Bridge of Peril, so we know what's going to be involved. Yeah, he doesn't want President Juarez to get the money, the gold, so he can afford to get the money. Common trope in Zorro movies. Geez. We haven't really reviewed any Zorro movies. I'm going to start looking into that, but not during Halloween season. Yep, there it goes. He manages to hop on the side there and get away from it. There was a convenient space. He finds a gun. I don't know if you call it Derringer, maybe. So he gives it to his buddy, this guy here, C, who talks like he's a gangster. Yeah, hit the bricks, C. He says, "Go find out who he bought it from." And I like this shot of over the shoulder of Don Del Oro with the natives. And there he goes. He's like, all right. Yeah. He says, there's a record of the sale, see? But he won't tell me who it is. Yeah. They don't follow up with that. Armeria, I would assume. So Zorro's going to go. They do follow up with it in a way. But he's looking for it. He tips this over. This alerts the bad guys. A fight breaks out. Sword fight breaks out. And that is a nice scenic shot. Once again, a sharper picture would make it look gorgeous. But, there's a road. but they're not riding on it, so that the camera truck can do it. I really like the shot of Zorro on Typhoon. I'm just going to call him that. Snowstorm. I don't know. Blizzard. Let's call him Blizzard because he's white. Okay, horse's name is Blizzard. And now he's going to cross the bridge, the rickety bridge. And the Yucky are throwing spears at him. He shoots one. This guy decides I don't know if he's the shot one, but he's cutting the bridge. And then it snaps, and that's where it ends. So tomorrow, well, next week, as we will see, next week, 5, 6, 7, 8 of this. It'll only last 3 weeks because it's only 12 chapters. All of these, except the first one, are only 16, maybe 17 minutes long to round up. But that is our show for today. Tomorrow we will be talking about Elvira because there's lots of music in it. Her 1988 debut movie, and she's made a couple more, I think. Oops. But come on, there we go. That's the movie we'll be reviewing tomorrow. And having said all that, and be that as it may, my fellow agents, until our next assignment, this is X7 signing off and phasing out.
There she was, just walking down the street singing. Snapping her fingers and shuffling her feet singing. She looked good, she looked fine. She looked good, she looked fine, and I knew